Hi guys, been wanting to do this video for a little while, so here we go. Some of you who know and sort of subscribe to my channel and watch my videos regularly um, know that although this is a predominantly a wrestling channel, um, from time to time you do get your football, your soccer um, videos. From time to time you do get movie reviews from me because these are the sort of things that I'm interested in. And I try and do videos that I'm interested in. Um, the last film review on here that I done was Fast and the Furious 6, and for those of you who are interested or don't already know, it was probably the dumbest, most stupid, most over the top film I've seen this year, and I loved it. So, um, you know, it was what it was, simple as that. However, it wasn't the last film I saw in the cinema. On the day of the release, I actually went to go and see Man of Steel. Um, to give you a little insight on me, my favourite superhero has always been, and probably will always be, Batman. Because out of all of them, he's the one that you can most believe in. You know, there was no super freak mutation type trick with him. It was always real. It was almost, dare I say, believable that someone with that much money could potentially turn himself into a Batman with all his gadgets and everything, and that's what made it believable. Um, for me, but more than that, it was the vulnerability of him. You know, it was the fact that you have someone who was Bruce Wayne, who may be very strong, but he was a normal man, albeit a rich normal man, but he was a normal man, and it was believable. There was nothing phony about it. There was nothing. I'll tell you what. There's nothing more believable than vulnerability. Nothing. Nothing more believable than the underdog. And in a lot of ways, the irony is with Batman, as rich as he is, we root for him because he's the most vulnerable out of all the superheroes. And one of the things that I always thought, um, in terms of Superman and Batman, is that Superman is the complete opposite of that. You could say, oh well, you know, kryptonite makes him vulnerable, but who ha- like unless you are an alien who knows where kryptonite is, how exactly do you make Superman vulnerable? No, I watched Man of Steel, and you know, there was no time where he was really ever in that much trouble. And more than anything, that was my biggest problem with the film. I thought it was well made. It was about as good as a Superman film could be. But there was no real time where you ever thought, wow, Superman's in real trouble here. There was no real obstacle to overcome. And that's why I liked it, but I wasn't as excited about the film. I don't know, maybe that's just my own personal preference and how I view Superman as a superhero. And then I started thinking, that is the biggest problem in wrestling today. More so in the WWE than anything. We, as fans, anyone over about the age of 10, hates baby faces. And that is a damn shame. That's a damn shame. Yeah, I got into wrestling liking the very first wrestler I liked was a baby. That was Ultimate Warrior. I liked him as a babyface. When I left wrestling and I got back into it, the very first wrestler I liked was Goldberg, which may seem strange because Goldberg was this unstoppable force, but then at the same time, he was a loner. So every time somebody ganged up on him, it was like Goldberg versus the world. He had no alliances, no nothing. It was He was someone who, although he had an undefeated streak, there was always that vulnerability that he could lose at any given moment. It was one of the few things WWE did well up until a certain point, where they made you invested in that character, so you wanted to root for that character. I argue today one of the biggest reasons why people love The Rock was that The Rock was one of the most vulnerable baby faces there was. You know, he could lose a match at any given time, at any given moment. But if there was one thing that The Rock was very good at, because he was such a good athlete, he could tell a very good story. Like, it wasn't just a simple, oh, Superman, I'm going to get beaten down, John Cena type, I'm going to get beaten down for like 90% of the match, and then spring up from nowhere and win. Sometimes you spring up, beat them up, and still lose that match. But because of that, like, most people started liking The Rock after the defeat to Triple H, and he lost that match. A lot more people started liking The Rock after he lost against Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 15. These are matches that he lost. But these are how people got invested in that character. And then you look at the WWE today, man, some of the biggest baby faces there are: Orton, Sheamus, John fucking Cena. These are three massive, massive baby faces in the WWE in terms of the way the WWE machine builds them. Can you tell me one of these guys that you like? Just genuinely, one of these guys. Orton, I've never met so many people that just want this guy to turn heel. To the point where people are starting to hate him. He's slowly starting to humble enough where he's tapping out to people like Daniel Bryan and matches, where he's losing clean to certain people. And these are things that Orton wouldn't have done 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe, believe it or not, maybe he's starting to learn that it's probably not good to win every single match by RKO out of nowhere. You know, it's good to show some sort of vulnerability, and I think he is slowly but surely starting to learn that. Sheamus, you're going to see me do a video on Sheamus real soon. But Sheamus is the epitome of what I'm talking about today. Tell me the last time the guy lost a match. I'll give you a minute. Just a normal one-on-one match. Yeah. I don't remember either. Tell me the last time a Sheamus confrontation or match didn't end up in some sort of stupid bro kick, regardless of whether he lost the match or not. I'll give you another minute. Yeah, I don't remember either. You see, baby faces are the biggest problem in the WWE today. Why? Because they don't know how to build them. That is the Superman conundrum. You know, I don't get invested in the idea or the concept of Superman because for me there is no vulnerability of Superman. There's no reason for me to root for him. And therefore I just go through the motions of watching the film and know that he will succeed in the end. Whereas Batman, yeah, alright, as an adult watching a film, I know that he's going to succeed in the end. But just for that split second, for that single split second, I could suspend my disbelief in knowing that at some point, maybe be in enough trouble where I can root for him, I can get behind him, I can want him to kick the ass of another guy. At what point am I supposed to root for Sheamus? There is no time when he's ever beaten down. There is no time where a match of his doesn't end up with him being on top. And as a fan, it gets you to the point where you're not just not rooting for him, you now spite him. Because you think to yourself, so, I don't understand. You almost turn him into our heel. And he's supposed to be your babyface, but you make us as fans think to yourself, oh gosh, I hope they don't turn certain favourites of ours heel, babyfaces, in case they end up like this. He's like the unstoppable babyface. That doesn't sound right. It should be an unstoppable monster. Monster, i.e. heel. Not unstoppable babyface. There's no reason for me to get behind him if I know he's going to succeed. And then, if Sheamus is the epitome of what I'm talking about, then John Cena is the absolute problem with WWE today. Everything Sheamus is doing now, John Cena has done for the last 10 years. He doesn't lose matches. He doesn't lose clean to anybody. Don't make the guy tap out. I understand. But you're telling me no one can pin this motherfucker to the mat for 3? There is no reason for me to feel like he's ever going to lose. He is the WWE's version of Superman. He is. That's who he is. You know, let me go on record, because people say it like it's an embarrassing statement. I'll be man enough to say it to you. I loved the John Cena rapping heel character. Not only was he entertaining, but more importantly than that, he was vulnerable. He used to lose matches. I know, John Cena losing a match, it used to happen. He used to get bit sometimes. He used to get beaten down sometimes and actually sell properly. He wouldn't take a finisher and then jump right back up like nothing fucking happened. John Cena is the worst seller in the WWE in my opinion. The worst seller. Just watch him when he receives a move. And that's why people hate him. Because there's no reason for us to get behind him. And that's why John Cena's core audience is little kids, because little kids don't understand that. Little kids think to themselves, oh, mom, you know, that's the way it should be. But as those kids get older, they're going to realize, hold on, why am I always supporting the guy that wins? People like an underdog. People like an achiever. But what exactly are you achieving if you're always winning? Like, you know, for you to achieve something, it's because you're coming from down here to up here. But if you're always up here, what exactly are you achieving? And I find it hysterical that their attempt at, John Cena had a terrible 2012. No, you didn't, son. No, you didn't. You just didn't. But that is the WWE corporate machine. You know, they can't tear down their boy too much. The worst thing that happened to John Cena in last year was the fact that he lost to The Rock. Oh, fuck me. That was the worst thing that happened to him. That's why people don't like him. WWE have built baby faces who are essentially Superman. And they've forgotten how to build a Batman. That's why people like Miz doesn't get over, and people like Del Rio never worked as a babyface because WWE just don't know how to do it anymore. And yeah, you could argue that those two particular characters always work better as a heel, and I would agree with you. But there's someone they should have pulled the trigger on a long time ago, and who knows, maybe they're slowly starting to do that now. It's Dolph Ziggler. A lot of it sometimes is just timing. And my biggest worry is that they're going to turn Daniel Bryan heel because he's going to go and face John Cena at SummerSlam. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about. Why? Are you that worried that someone like Daniel Bryan is going to get a bigger reaction than John Cena at one of your bigger shows? Maybe that should tell you something. For me, WWE's biggest problem at the moment in terms of creating stars is their babyface problem. They're all Superman. And what they really need is Batman. They need to create some vulnerability in each individual star. Because if they don't, ratings are going to continue to fall. And quite frankly, your boy John Cena can't go on forever. What is he, 35? He's not going to be able to go on forever. Who is next? I'm just hoping that there's a shift in thinking that, just because a particular demographic of people, i.e. kids, have heroes, sometimes you have to give a kid a reason to back a hero. Kids won't always be stupid. They'll grow up. And that's why people have nothing against John Cena as the man, as the character. I'm sure he is a good stand-up guy. Um, and he always seems like a nice guy, to be honest. But people detest his character. Why? Because there's no reason to back him. People detest Sheamus, including myself. I actually hate Sheamus more than John Cena at this point, and that is saying something. Because there was once upon a time, Sheamus used to be my favorite heel. So that is, you lot really done a fucking, you lot really made me do a 180 on that motherfucker, right? And that's because there's just no reason for me to back him. There's no reason for me to make me feel like he needs my help, he needs my support. To the point where I automatically back a heel over Sheamus. And that's not me being a douche, but that's just me thinking, well, you know, why do I have any reason to invest my time or my focus into a character who I know is going to win? So I come back to the Superman story. The, you won't see a review from me for Man of Steel, mainly because what's the point? Yeah, it was good. I don't think it was the A star that people are talking about, but I don't know if that's because it genuinely wasn't, or because I've never been that interested in Superman. WWE needs to fix their Superman babyface problem before it's too late. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Been wanting to do it a little while, and just wanted to put my 2 cents in, really. Comment, subscribe, like this video, and I hope to catch you guys soon. You'll probably see a Raw review from me at some point. I'm going to bang out a few videos this week, so a Raw review will come tomorrow morning, maybe tomorrow afternoon after work. And then later on this week I'm going to do some Arsenal videos, especially now the transfer window's reopened. I feel like it's about that time. So I hope you stay tuned. Take care.